Yokosawa, let's go, buddy. 8 big blinds, exactly what he needs last hand before the break. And gonna be potentially getting some action here if there's something like an ace-8 for 8 big blinds. This is like, you know, probably too good to fold.
Yeah, you got a call here,
Yeah.
I think. Obviously, we can see he's in bad shape. But I think Madsen...
Going to be up against the worst aces, the king jacks, the king tens, and the like.
8-9 suited, you know.
Yep, Jeff's made the call. Joel Micker folds the big blind, and here we go. It's a domination situation. Masato Yokosawa, big favorite here to double up through Jeff Madsen.
Refused to be eliminated with the queen jack, making a very tight fold, and now has it in good.
Deuce 4-6 all club, please.
Just deuce 4-6 all clubs.
Well, you know what Hagen always says? You don't call for cards when you're ahead. That's
correct.
Someone should tell him.
8-8 deuce.
Come on.
Ace.
Ace. Okay. Yeah. I take that.
Here we go.
Well, Yokosawa's hand hold. Well, that's a very good start. Top pair, 1 club. Madsen with less than 1% equity.
Wow.
Bag and tag it.
How do you flop dead, by the way?
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Prepay.
Less than 1% for Madsen.
And then
He's doing the prepay.
It's too ridiculous to win this.
I give you 100 back.
That's fine.
Surrender.
And the turn card is a 4. So Madsen now drawing dead. Yokosawa will double up, and we are going to hit the first break of the day, and we are still 6-handed at the final table.
Yeah, very consequential double up for our Japanese superstar there. He'll be delighted to take 18 bigs into the break, pulling level with Marco.
Well, of course, the blinds are going up. So Johnson and Yokosawa will actually be around 14 big blinds when we come back at the new blind level. In fact, everyone other than Nick Marchington is going to be playing fewer than 40 big blinds once we go to 61-20. The final table just got a whole lot shallower.
Yokosawa deciding how to play the A7 suited here, whether he wants to elevate or not.
I notice he's been banged by Wolfgang.
And comes with 3-bet.
3-bet energy from the button. Yokosawa re-raises to 680,000. Madsen in the small blind folds ace-3. Mika in the big blind has passed, so it's back on Kohlberg.
Yeah, and traditionally, versus this 3-bet, you would tend to play just shove or fold, particularly since he's gone on the bigger sizing. I wonder if that's how Kohlberg affects it. Obviously, it's a hand that plays very well, but you don't normally get to see flops in this sort of exact constellation of stacks. What will Kurt decide? Does he suspect foul play? And yeah, I think that was always the most likely outcome, probably the best one. No, we can see Yokosawa would have folded to further action.
Yeah,
what a great start to this level for Masato Yokosawa. Now up to nearly 25 bigs. That's worthy of a dance.
Yeah, and we could see that that Yokosawa knows what he's doing, you know, and he's gonna, you know, finding a subtle 3-bet there. You know, I think back in the day, I mean, not even that long ago, a few years ago, people would either go for a sort of crude rejam or even sometimes a flat. Actually, a 3-bet's very effective. Can go a small size, maybe even smaller than that, sort of leverage your opponent's whole stack or force them to commit against you or fold.
Yeah, and I do think it's a bit of a response to how active he's seen Kurt be today, because quite honestly, yesterday, Kurt was playing very, very snug, and I don't necessarily think he would have taken that spot against Kurt's opens specifically. But, you know, Kurt has a bit of an adjusted strategy coming into today, which some people might have picked up on by now.
So Madsen raises the button with Kojak. Back when Madsen was making his bones in Hold'em, that's what they called this hand, Kojak. Marchington defends with Jack-6.
whole generation of poker players that have grown up listening to you and have never seen Kojak, probably.
There was a reboot with Ving Rhames, and ironically, probably more of our viewership is aware of that Kojak than the Who Loves Your Baby Telly Savalas version.
Yeah, and we get a little hand-over-hand situation for one of the first times at this final. The King-Jack, very powerful on this board. Even though Marchington defends wide, not going to have 7-2 off, Jack-2 off, etc. King-Jack, very, very strong. Ace-Jack often does something, or at least occasionally does something pre-flop. So Madsen going to be aware of the strength of this holding if we get a brick turn.
205K apiece. A 6 on the turn. That is not a brick. That is domination rotation in the chip leader's favor.
Yeah, and Marchington playing in flow. No straights come in, so no need to lead even though a lower card comes. And Madsen can picture 10-9, 10-8, 9-8, all the hands we want to fold out. 7x of diamonds, 2x of diamonds. There's all sorts of hands, Jack-10, that he can get value for. He checks back.
Wow.
How's he check back? Really remarkable. Versus the chip leader, feels like he can't go for 3 streets. Really surprised at that check back. And now Marchington.
Will go for value on the river. Gets snap called.
How much did he go for that?
3-4-5.
Oh, and he didn't even consider raising the block bet. I mean, I might have even thought about raising for value there against that sizing. Really losing the minimum.
So
So sad.
Marchington's just moved over 11 million for the first time. He now has near enough a 3-to-1 chip advantage on Jeff Madsen, who, even though he's still second in chips, has dropped down to 32 big blinds.
What fresh hell will it be now? It's actually Jack's.
Wow. And
Also very smartly dressed. You have to give him that. Like, showed up, gave this final table a little respect.
He was
put
here
the
at like
colors
9
on.
o'clock this morning, too. Like, he was prepared. He was ready.
he'd
Oh,
done his
boy.
homework. Yeah.
Marco Johnson with 17 big blinds, facing a raise from a very active chip leader, does get away from the ace-7.
Yeah, let's see whether Masato has a defendable hand here in the big blind.
Oh,
No.
that is not just
Wow.
defendable. That is an all-in from Yokosawa.
One time Jack.
Snap
please.
called
No,
from Marchington.
No Jack. I said
Very unfortunate
7-8.
situation. Tens, a super, super strong hand versus Marchington's opening range. And of course can even get called by worse pairs. Pipped in this instance.
Ten's typically way ahead of any 2 cards.
Yes.
Just not these
Jack.
two.
Yeah, and
Wait,
Yokosawa,
1.9,
who's
1.9
fought
something.
back from being an extreme shorty an hour ago. Can he make a 10?
No help whatsoever on this flop.
Yeah, no straight draws, no flush draws.
I keep a 10.
A
I'm gonna
10
win this tournament.
required.
You could.
I can.
Yokosawa has 2 shots to hit 1 of 2 10s. Misses the turn. Needs to hit the river or will be out in 6th place. First elimination of the day, several hours in.
Oh, gross.
No 10.
GG.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Sayonara, Yokosawa.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, great
We
Gotta
just
win
lost
this one.
Japan.
Go
run
again.
from Masato, the YouTuber. Such a great personality to have at the tables and on the tour.
Genuinely love this dude out in
That's so
6
fine.
for $155,000. Pocket 9s for Mika. Gets, finally won't be facing Marchington, but Kurt Kohlberg with big slick.
Yeah, and it's,
And we're going to have a big flip.
well, when he folds back to Joel, I do believe he'll consider his options. I don't know whether he can read. It's not slam dunk, I don't think, against Kurt.
Apologies, not a slam dunk. You're right, Kurt, on the
We
tighter
just-
side.
We just try and imagine, okay, is this eights? Is this ace-8? No, he is going to call. He is going to call, you're right.
Does end up being a big flip.
Yeah, yeah. Nines, he feels too strong. And obviously there are so many ace-king, ace-queen combinations that you flip against.
Nines versus ace king.
Like Circus versus Motel 6. One of these two things has a slight mathematical advantage.
Yeah, I would love to see the Kurt Locker
Nice.
hanging around.
That's a pretty good flop for nines.
Yeah, there is an ace of hearts that lingers. Let's keep it live, at least to the river. Kohlberg checking it, and it bricks.
Nine still holding, however.
Ace or king required. We will lose immediately. Another player and be four-handed.
And that river. Whiff.
Brick City.
Kohlberg eliminated.
Jeff, nice playing with you.
Back-to-back hand.
Yeah, one of my...
Yokosawa, Kohlberg. Done and done.
Yeah, a true gentleman of the game, Kurt Kohlberg. Someone that's, you know,
Made 100
been there, done it all in the game. Just a delight to be around. He'll be very proud of this run and the score. I'm sure he would have loved to have taken it down. And just like that, we're four-handed out of nowhere.
Pocket tens for Joel Mika. Marchington has folded.
The Masato Yokosawa Memorial hands, pocket tens.
Too soon.
Oh, look at this. Marchington got banged as well by...
Did Wolfgang just come in and slap stickers on people?
I think it's like one of those that if you eliminate.
This escalated quickly. Johnson ships it with ace-4 from the big blind and runs into the 2-10s. Is going to be way behind.
Yeah, not quite.
Yeah, I think this seems loose, but it's reasonably acceptable play. We can imagine a lot of holdings that get folded here. Just using the ace blocker. Does have the one over.
Whoa, my goodness. A flop for the ages. Top and bottom for Johnson, but that set of tens is going to be tough to run down.
Yeah, it actually looks like he's got a lot of outs, but it's actually just two. Is that correct? Because a 4 would be no good. Johnson actually saying that a heart is best for him, and that is the case.
No heart on the turn.
Going to need one of 2 remaining aces to make a bigger full house.
Once again, once again, our player at risk. Down to only 2 outs. Doesn't connect. And we have just lost 3 players in 5 hands. And if Joel Mika had a shot to contend with Marchington before, he's got an even better one now.
Yeah, American poker's is, I think also because there is such a camaraderie. As we talk about, so many people play together. Really nice atmosphere at the tables in America.
It's fun. Poker in Vegas is fun.
I think it also helps that you guys have a common lingo of sort of sports, etc., etc. Because obviously when we play the EPT, we're all European, but there is a difference between someone from Moscow and someone from Paris or whatever.
This dude does not miss.
Yeah.
Bottom 2 for Marchington.
Yeah, and Madsen, it's kind of typical to just c-bet here on the ace-high board.
Oh, Jeffrey.
And Marchington with bottom 2, it's a hand that quite often wants to fast play. You know, it's just so strong right now that we don't want to allow our opponents to check back or weird cards to come off. We should see, though.
Here come some pinks.
Yeah, and Jeff, a little bit unexpected.
Cacao, 520,000.
And this is very difficult spot when you've got middle pair, no real backups. Feels very weak to fold. But you're not going to have much visibility. I don't think Jeff will fold here, and nor should he, in my opinion.
Especially just in the presence of so many different, gut shots, straight draw, flush draw,
we can
combo
imagine
draws.
5-3s, 5-8s, etc.
What we used to call a wet board. Okay, Jeff is in. Jack on the turn.
Yeah.
Puts another flush draw out there.
Yeah, and Marchington can go a lot of different ways here. He could even jam here if we imagine 6-8 of spades kind of matching up with sort of combo draws. He can come with block, but we shall see what the great man decides.
And the great man is deciding to fire an entire stack of those salmon chips.
Is he just sort of half stacking? Yeah.
720,000.
Yeah, it comes with half pot for the times he's got. Now, this works well for the times as well that we've got sort of 6-8 where we don't want to go all in, but we want to continue to pressurize. And Madsen, I mean, we just don't have much visibility on the river. It's a hard hand to bluff catch with. I mean, the good thing about the queen is we unblock all the draws, right? We don't interfere with any 5-6s, 8-5s, spade draws, combo draws, 4-5s, etc. So it does feel like a good thing, but on half the deck, a flush comes in. On another portion of the deck, a straight comes in. Are we going to just hero call on a deuce of clubs?
Well, and you wonder, you know, how many ace-X's he gives Marchington, considering, you know, Madsen limped this hand on the button and Marchington checked his option from the big blind. And against Madsen's effective stack size pre, I do think that he's calling into question some of the value hands he has. But again, you know, when you limp in from the button, you do allow these hands to be in there.
Yeah.
5-3.
Yeah.
Madsen in the small blind, 10-8 of strawberries.
Mr. Continuation Pet is also creative.
Madsen decides to call. Ace-queen for Joel Micker.
Yeah, and Joel will just come with raise, hoping that he gets a limp shove from an inferior ace. But Madsen with a hand that can continue through call, I believe, will take an assessment of what he thinks of Joel's range here. But it seems like we do want to play a beautiful suited hand like this, even if it's for a bit more of a stack than we'd like.
Madsen calls the raise, and we are going to the flop.
Yeah, a lot of money in there now.
The flop is Jack 10-8.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and this is a big collision board because Mika has a double gut shot here. Depending on whether he elects to check back or continuation bet. I mean, this is a board that I think really hits Jeff's range.
Yep.
But with the ace of spades and the gut shot, double gut shot equity, he might decide to just bet knowing he could call off against inferior draws.
All in. Micker's bet of 900,000, check raised by Jeff Madsen. Joel Micker makes the call, and Madsen is a 2-1 favorite here to double up with two pair.
Yeah, all sorts going on here. Both players, backdoor flush draws, counterfeits in play. All manner of juicy turn cards.
What a sweaty moment as well, Sam. This is really going to define how this plays out.
Yeah, we would be heads up if Joel gets lucky.
Well, he's looking for kings and nines at this point. 8 cards in the deck that Jeff Madsen has to fade. Turn is a king, and that is going to give Joel Micker the advantage. He is now a 9-1 favorite to eliminate Jeff Madsen, who is going to need a 10 or an 8 on the river. River card. Is an 8.
Wow. Wow.
Madsen rivers a
What the
boat,
fuck?
doubles up and survives.
Madsen magic
Who said
on
8?
the river.
Absolutely drills it, guys.
Jesus Christ. I was like I was manifesting that so hard. I like did like a third eye thing. I was like, whoa.
Revealing his
God.
poker secrets after a glass of wine.
Manifestation is important.
So Madsen doubles up to 5.6 million. He's now playing 37 big blinds. Joel Micker down to fewer than 10 bigs now.
Yeah, that's a huge reversal of fortune on the river. Very unlucky for Joel, who had obviously a strong hand on the flop and an absolute lock on the turn. But manifestation paying off for Madsen.
Yeah.
One of the nice things about having a tournament in Vegas is there is a collegiate atmosphere. A lot of poker players, ex-poker players. No. Oh, and here we go. Nick Marchington all in, and Madsen waking up with a huge hand in the form of pocket queens.
Yeah, just kind of pretty standard shove spot. I think ace-10 off just needs to be all in here pretty much every time at this stack depth.
Marchington very unlucky. I mean, this is a strong holding blind on blind.
Yeah.
Can get called by worse.
Absolutely.
And Madsen almost sad to see an overcard in a way. You know, occasionally this is just going to be Jack-10 of hearts, and we've really got Marchington in trouble. Here we go.
All right, flop is deuce of diamonds, 5 of hearts, 8 of hearts. So the heart's working in favor of Marchington, but still obviously needs to improve. Madsen is going to be sweating this one. This is for the tournament life. Jack of clubs on the turn.
Yeah, and none of those backdoors opened up. It's ace and ace only required for the Englishman, or Jeff Madsen will be back doubled up and alive in this tournament.
And the river's ace! No, not the ace.
See that coming. And Nick Marchington eliminates the legend, Jeff Madsen.
It was mostly fun until that last.
Great run from the poker superstar.
Good game.
Yeah, absolutely brutal way to exit, but that's the game we play. Should be very proud of the performance we've seen here in Las Vegas.
That happened.
And
you
it
showed
happens,
up.
Sam. It happens. That's 70-30. We've seen it so many times, and we'll see it so much more.
Yeah, I mean, the original poker phenom really blazed the trail for young poker players in Vegas. Great to see him at a big final table.
I feel like we're on a date.
And that means we will be heading to heads up now, obviously, guys. That's Jeff Madsen, third place finish. Takes home $341,750 US.
As we deal hand 136 of the final table and the first hand of heads-up play between Nick Marchington and Joel Mika. And it will be Marchington first to act on the button in the small blind. He completes. 7-4 offsuit. Joel Mika checking his option with 5-4 of diamonds. And it is a Jack-6-5 flop. So it's a pair for Mika. It's the open-ended straight draw for Marchington. And this is going to go check, bet, call.
Yeah, nice flop for Marchington. A very, wow.
Oh,
and
wow.
an even better turn card for Nick Marchington, the nuts. And his opponent does have a hand which is going to be forced to continue. Third pair and an open-ended straight draw. Normally a very, very strong hand heads up.
So Marchington bet 750,000 on the turn. Mika, with that pair of fives and a straight draw of his own, makes the call, taking us to the river.
Gonna need a 7 to take half this pot down.
The river card is a deuce.
my days.
Wow.
Mika rivers a worse straight.
No.
Checks the action to Marchington.
And I wonder if Marchington can go for it all on this river. He's going to arrive at the river with plenty of bluffs.
All in.
He shoves on Mika. Joel calls all in, and it is over. The very first hand of heads-up play, and Nick Marchington closes it out as he goes wire to wire at the final table of the PokerStars NAPT main event.
Good game.
Yeah, Marchington almost in disbelief at his good fortune. You've got to feel for Joel Mika, who was cooling out of his seat there. Amazing run from the experienced pro and very proud second place finisher. But Nick Marchington is our champion, James.
$765,000. Congratulations to Joel Mika. We referenced him being a runner-up in the PCA. He's a runner-up here at NAPT Las Vegas, earning himself $478K.
Unbelievable stuff, guys. Really, really unreal cooler there. And like you said, just can't even believe how lucky he gets in this spot. Can you imagine? First hand, boom, job done.
Pick a river card. I hadn't even imagined that could be such a significant river card. Really came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Just a perfect run out for Nick Marchington.